I just saw a video of Pastor Adeboye where he was speaking, and I didn't actually see this part. I only saw the part where he said, Tinubu has done his best. He gave a story of a pastor of his, first of all, of course, classic Adeboye, belittling every other denomination except his. You can see that from the kind of prayers he makes about how other people are going to come back, his church people for food. But I digress, right? So he said when the Boko Haram were very hot in the north, that every other pastors ran away, like every other denominational pastors ran away, but his own pastor stayed. RCCG pastor stayed. And the Boko Haram people visited the RCCG pastor's house, and unfortunately, because they didn't meet the man at home, they unalived the twins because the man's wife just put to bed the twins. And of course, devastating news. But Adeboye did not stop there. He said when he was consoling this pastor of his, he was telling the pastors that, oh, don't worry, when this pastor gets to heaven, up there in the sky, that when this pastor dies, because you have to die first, when this pastor dies and gets to heaven, that this pastor would, stand proud with people of them like Paul, people that like did great sacrifice for this Yahweh God. So basically telling the pastor that, oh, I know that your twins were just murdered. Of course, if this story is true, because it's Adeboye, right? So if your twins were actually murdered, don't worry, when you die and go to a place in the sky, and people are bragging to this Yahweh God, the sacrifices that they had to endure, like Job in the Bible, you'll be like, oh, according to Adeboye, well, your own is small. Have you been married before? Have you had twins that were unalived for the sake of this gospel before? So again, it's all just mental slavery and the brainwashing that some general overseers first of all probably don't believe this, but they had to make you believe it so that you can go to places with high security, high insecurity, and open church, and like for it to you, you're doing, of course, the work of God, but you're furthering the establishment that is RCCG in dangerous places as well. And in that instance, now you lose something as precious as your twin babies, yet the owner of this RCCG institution that knows that you are just helping him, all the pastors in all the villages in outside the countries, they're just helping him because now when we look, oh, RCC has 40,000 branches. These are all just numbers to the owner of the institution, like, oh, we are progressing, we're progressing. So actual people are being unalive for this progressing sake. And instead of just being humane and just sympathize or empathize with this man, I'm sorry for your loss, you go ahead and feed them with more lies that when they get up there and they are being rewarded, they have something to brag about that they lost. It's just very sad because I think he went on to say that the pastor did not leave the place because again they don't run away from darkness. In Adeboye's words, they, of course, RCCG people are light. They don't run away from darkness, which is quite funny because I'm very sure if insecurity steps in Adeboye's doorstep, he has a private jet to fly him out. I don't think his members that are following him and saying, Papa, we are light, don't run away from darkness. I don't think if trouble comes running on their doorstep, they even have passports to travel out to safeguard themselves. But they are light, I guess.